The morning broke with a stillness I had never felt before. No clang of conduit, no chatter of drills. Instead, Harris called us into the break room. A plain wooden table sat at the center, with only a notebook and a single lockout tag resting on it. He stood behind the table, arms crossed, his eyes serious. Harris spoke slowly, each word landing like a weight. Today we talk about trust. You can splice wires, torque breakers, calculate loads, even solve conflicts. But without trust, none of it matters. Trust is the foundation of this trade. Lose it once, and you may never earn it back. The foreman entered, silent as a shadow, placed a coffee mug on the table, chipped at the rim. "I've seen more careers ended by broken trust than by broken wires," he said. "An inspector can forgive a crooked conduit if you fix it, but lie about your work, hide your mistakes, it ends you." Kevin shifted uncomfortably in his chair. Maria sat upright, her notebook ready. I felt the tension in my chest. This was no ordinary lesson. Harris set a scene. Imagine this. You wired a receptacle yesterday. Today the inspector finds a loose connection, asks who did it. What do you say? No one answered. The silence stretched. Finally Maria spoke, her voice steady. "You admit it. You take responsibility. Then you correct it." Harris nodded. "Yes. Accountability is discipline. Hiding mistakes is betrayal." Kevin's voice was low. "But what if admitting cost me the job?" The foreman's eyes were cold. "Better to lose a job than to lose your integrity. Lose your integrity and no one will ever hire you again. Trust is currency on a job site. Spend it wisely or go broke forever." I felt my pulse quicken. It was true. Every splice, every panel, every word we spoke was more than work. It was a promise. Harris walked around the table, placing the lockout tag into my hands. "This tag says your name, your time, your responsibility. When you place it, you are telling everyone, this is my work. I stand by it. If something goes wrong, your name answers first. That is what accountability means." The lesson did not stay abstract for long. The foreman led us back into the training bay. A mock-up service panel stood open, wires waiting inside. He pointed to a breaker lug. "One of you left this loose last night." "Who?" The room froze. My stomach twisted. I remembered being the last one near that panel. Before I could speak, Kevin blurted out, "It wasn't me." The foreman said nothing, only stared. Harris waited. The silence pressed down. My throat was dry, but I stepped forward. "It was me," I said. "Torqued it, but clearly not enough. I'll fix it now." Harris gave the faintest nod. The foreman's eyes softened, just a shade. "That is trust," he said. "You admitted the mistake. You own it. That is what keeps crews alive." I retightened the lug, this time steady, deliberate, checked it with the meter, logged it properly. Maria watched closely, and I caught her faint smile. Kevin said nothing. Later, Harris brought us back together. His voice carried no anger, only gravity. "You see, apprentices, trust is not built by perfection. It is built by honesty. Everyone makes mistakes. But if you hide them, you put lives at risk. If you admit them, you protect your crew. Inspectors respect honesty. Foremen respect honesty. Teams respect honesty." He turned to Kevin. "You said earlier that admitting might cost you your job, but hiding costs you something far greater, your reputation. Once lost, it will not return." Kevin looked down, ashamed. The foreman spoke again, his tone like iron. "I once worked with a man who hid a splice outside a junction box. When the inspector found it, the man swore it wasn't his. Months later, that same circuit caused a fire. That man never worked again in this city. Not because of the fire, but because of the lie." The room was silent. The weight of the story settled on our shoulders. Maria broke the silence. "So trust is more than technical skill. It's moral skill." Harris's face softened. "Exactly. Trust is not built with your hands. It is built with your choices. Every day you choose to be honest or you choose to lie. One path builds a career, the other destroys it." The foreman lifted the chipped mug again. "See this? A broken mug still holds coffee. A broken word holds nothing. Don't let your word break." We returned to our benches, the day nearly done. Harris wasn't finished. He gave us one last test. "Each of you will write a pledge, a single sentence. Your promise as an electrician," Maria wrote quickly. I will respect code, my crew, and the lives who depend on my work. Kevin hesitated, then scribbled, no matter the cost. I pressed my pencil to the page, my heart heavy but clear. I will build with integrity, so that every circuit I touch carries not just power, but trust. Harris collected the papers, folded them, and tucked them into his notebook. These are not just words, they are your foundation. Forget them, and nothing you build will stand. The foreman ended with finality. Discipline gave you order. Conflict gave you respect. Today gave you trust. Without these, you are nothing but a man with tools. With them, you are electricians. We stood together in silence, not as scattered apprentices, but as something closer to a crew. The lesson had shifted something in all of us. As the sun sank behind the site, Harris gave one last hint of what was to come. Tomorrow, a new trial awaits. Not in panels or wires, but in motors and machines. Power that moves, power that breathes. Prepare yourselves. I closed my notebook, the words of my pledge burning in my mind. Trust, the invisible wire binding us all, stronger than copper, harder than steel.